Hey everybody, it's Norm Farrar, aka the Beard Guy here, and welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the Amazon FBA and e-commerce podcast.
Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm.
All right, I don't know why Kelsey can't build me a room like this, but this is a nice room. My first time in a professional podcast room. Kelsey has to get on it when I get home. This is what I want, exactly like this. Anyway, today we're going to have a really great show. If you get a chance, please ping people to come on. We're going to be talking about Google and Pinterest ads. If you're not doing it, you are leaving money on the table. And we've got one of the top people in the industry talking about it today. So he's been on the show before. He's an e-commerce entrepreneur. What do you call it? Kelsey will bring me the, what is it? Is it a nomad? Is it a digital nomad?
Digital nomad. There you go. You got it.
That's what him and his wife are. They're digital nomads. They travel the world. They inspire people, and they do some really cool stuff with these ads. But you know what? Sumner Hobart is incredible. And Sumner and his wife, Allie, I got to meet just a couple of days ago for the first time live in Vegas, which was awesome. He's even, I'm going to use the word again, more awesome than I thought. And his wife, absolutely awesome. But anyways, they're going to be on the show. We're going to be talking about all this today. And anyways, I'll bring Kelsey in right now. Where are you, sir?
Forget.
Hi. It's a little weird for the fourth time not being in our own studio. Like, you know,
I know, yeah.
You got a mic over here, you got different earphones, you got different this, you got different that. But we'll get through it as I adjust my seat.
Yeah.
My seat kind of went from up here and it slowly went whoosh. Kelsey.
So I'm not sure how my Wi-Fi is right now.
It really sucks, but
Hello?
It's okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm outside of a restaurant in Tofino. Currently, I'm in a Jeep. So welcome, everyone. I hope my Wi-Fi doesn't come in and out. But we do have Tony Cigar. He's in the background here. He's making sure the show will go on, even if if I cut out. But welcome, everyone. Yeah, it's crazy to be doing this podcast from a Jeep, but yeah, I'm really excited about it. Norm, don't forget about the sponsorship.
Oh my God, you did your job. I guess it's that great BC weather. And by the way, Tofino is really cool. I used to go there. I used to take off from there and go fishing on Vancouver Island. And Tofino, if you guys don't know this, is one of the best, probably one of the only good surfing spots in Canada. But it's not like Hawaii. It's kind of cool. And they're waves, but it's not like Hawaii waves. But anyways, you're going to go do some surfing, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So before we get into everything.
Last night I was there.
Were you? That's cool. Don't interrupt me. Okay. So a big thank you to our sponsor, Global Wired Advisors, a leading digital investment bank focused on optimizing the business sales process. I got to meet Chris Schifferling in Vegas. What an awesome guy. The guy's a monster, huge. I had no idea. He actually walked past me, or I walked past him, and he had to catch up to me and say, hey, I'm Chris. So anyways, check out globalwiredadvisors.com. Really awesome team, really awesome guy. And I'm just glad that they're our sponsors. All right, Kelsey, so what do people got to do today?
All right, smash those like buttons. If you're interested in joining our community, you can join us on Facebook, Lunch with Norm, Amazon FBA, and E-commerce Collective. Also, if you're looking for more beard, if you want to help support the podcast, you can buy us a coffee or even join our highest tier Patreon level membership area, and that's you'll get guest lessons, group private lessons.
Surfing from Kelsey.
We've got giveaways, free services that we're doing. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's in there, and you just need to go to lunchwithnorm.com and hit the membership area, and you'll be good to go. You'll see everything, and a Lunch with Norm mug too. So that's the most important part, I think. But yeah,
Hey, by the way, are your brothers in the back seat, and are they going to come up and surprise me sometime during the podcast?
no, they're roaming around somewhere on the streets. I kind of took over this Jeep.
Oh my gosh. All right. So if you have any questions, throw them into the comment section. Now sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee. I don't have coffee today, but I have my Coke Zero, and enjoy the show. Welcome, the awesome Mr. Hobart. Did I say you were awesome?
Well, thank you for having me on, Norm, and really appreciate the intro. Great to first see you virtually, then see you in person in Vegas last week, and then see you virtually again. So,
So you let your wife sleep in. That's what you're doing, right?
yeah, no, right now we're in Montenegro, and it's currently 6 p.m. our time. So she's at the co-working space kind of down the street, and I'm here today, and then we'll switch out tomorrow. But
So you were just in Vegas, now over there. How long are you going to be staying there for? Because you really are a digital nomad.
yeah, for the time being, yes, it's kind of what we've become. But we'll be here in Montenegro for 3 weeks, then off to Bosnia for a couple weeks, and then to Croatia for a couple months. So just along the Balkan coast across kind of the Adriatic Sea from Italy. That's where we are right now.
That's so cool. Anyways, yeah, I'm jealous. I couldn't have snuck away with you. I had a chance.
I know we tried to break away with you, but those Florida shores just were calling.
Oh, look at that. Allie's making a comment here.
Ha!
There we go. So you're
Someone
lucky
has to
you
actually
said
work.
something nice, right?
Thanks, Allie.
All right. So in case people did not get a chance to hear our last episode, can you talk a little bit about yourself and what you're up to?
Yeah, absolutely. So kind of maybe on the more relevant side to the audience, what they care about. So it's kind of my wife and I, we are our own kind of small team. We're kind of Amazon sellers and e-commerce entrepreneurs first. Whatever we find that really helps our own business, we do our best to share that with the public and with other fellow sellers, obviously to help them grow their businesses and ultimately become more profitable in the long term. So that's just pretty much what we do. And then one of the many things that we've come across that's been extremely helpful in our business's growth, not just on Amazon, but all of our online businesses, because we do have a few online businesses, are Google and Pinterest advertising. And that's why we kind of wanted to share that, because I think there's a lot of really kind of low-hanging fruit that is not being picked up by many kind of in the e-commerce community. So.
Very good. Now, this just leads me right into the very first question. I mean, how important is it for an Amazon seller to bring in this outside traffic, either Google or Pinterest?
Yep, definitely. So there are many ways to drive traffic to your listing. But overall, this is just for my personal, I speak with, probably dozens of Amazon sellers on a daily basis, just from messages coming in. It seems the kind of prevailing or the most common forms of launching a product on Amazon are basically driving traffic to ultimately increase organic keyword rank and to generate sales are Amazon PPC and rebates, or those are two of the most popular. And those are great, great to utilize, really, really great tools. However, there are many other tools that are available. And from what we've seen recently from a lot of research is that external traffic has very strong weight in assisting with organic ranking on Amazon. And Google and Pinterest are two of those platforms. So that's number one, is just in general, external traffic is going to help you with your organic keyword ranking on Amazon. So indirectly, generate sales that way, and then also directly generate some more sales, which we'll talk a little bit more in detail of how that kind of works. And then second, and that's actually really good timing for this specific podcast, is that earlier this week, Amazon just announced that, and I'll probably have to backtrack a little bit, but basically when you send traffic to your Amazon listing and you track that with Amazon attribution, they'll actually reward you an additional % of sales for each sale that's made with that external traffic. So number one, we're already seeing that, external traffic, really good to whether you're launching a product or if you want to maintain or increase rank for your existing kind of keywords. And the fact that now Amazon is going to pay a %, let's say 10% of each sale that's made from external traffic, that's a clear indicator to me that number one, it's beneficial for that extra 10%. But even more important in my mind is that clearly shows that Amazon is trying to incentivize sellers to drive more external traffic and will be rewarding directly in that way. And I'm sure there's even more indirect benefit that we'll see in the future as well.
So I'm not sure when you want to talk about that, maybe towards the end of the podcast, but let's talk about setting that up. That's huge. I saw that. I was going to announce it, but I didn't have enough time to really research it. I wanted to make sure that I was reading it right. But it's up to 10% that they're rewarding people for driving extra. So for those people who think that Amazon does not like that external traffic, they're wrong. Absolutely wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So now they're going to help you. Like 10% is not a bad chunk of change. And it helps offset those the costs too. So depending on the product that you have, let's talk a bit about that towards the end. You also have a giveaway today, which is kind of cool. What is that?
Yeah, so we do. So I know we want to kind of change it up from the last time that we were on, and hopefully this is valuable to your audience, which I know it will be. So we have kind of an entire course on Udemy, just kind of breaking down Google ads, Pinterest ads. We talk about influencer partnerships, very simple Facebook ad rebate strategies, and kind of all of that in one solid course. We're giving away lifetime access to that course to one lucky winner who engages with this. I guess, Norm, you can tell them what they need to do in order to win, but that's going to be the giveaway.
That's a great giveaway. I mean, it's an all-in-one package. I know that we were getting some questions about Pinterest and, mostly Pinterest the last time that you were on. But so check it out. All we need is hashtag Wheel of Kelsey. You'll be entered in. And if you'd like to be entered in a second time, just tag 2 people. And sorry, guys, I've got it's just back and forth with all these weather changes. I got a bit of a cold today, it feels like. So just bear with me. My sniffles, my coughs before I mute. Just a sec, I'll try to mute. Now I'm good to go. All right, let's talk about Google. Where do we even start with Google Ads?
Yeah, definitely. So there's a big reason I want to kind of start talking about Google, and it'll make sense as we go on. But obviously, Google is a tool that can be used in a wide variety of ways. So there's a lot of ways you can use not just Google Ads, but the entire Google platform. But specifically, what I want to kind of focus on, and this is for Amazon sellers, is Google search ads. So it used to be called Google AdWords, and now it's just Google Ads. And there's many different ways you can advertise on Google. And essentially, basically, people are using Google to search for all kinds of information, but there are also people who are on Google right now who are searching for your product. And I think it's about the latest statistic. It's about 32% of online product purchases begin on Google. So the search begins on Google, where the majority, the bulk kind of happens on Amazon. That's where a lot of people go. There's still a huge chunk of people who are searching for physical products to purchase on Google. So that's kind of step one is, obviously whenever you're marketing your product, you want to know, okay, where's my audience, right? Who's my audience? What do they want? But also where are they online? And there's your audience is on Google. It's like, okay, great. How can we get them? Again, there's a lot of ways using Google with, Google SEO and blog content or press releases and a lot of other great ways, but a fairly easy way to basically get your product in front of the right people when they're in purchase mode is with Google search ads. And for those who aren't as familiar, you can literally just go right now. I'd encourage you, like on your phone, or don't exit out of the podcast, but you can just search for it could be your own product or a product that you're interested in buying into the Google search engine. And you may likely see above the organic results, something that looks almost identical to an organic search result, but has the word ad kind of right underneath it very discreetly. And that's a Google search ad. It basically looks like kind of an organic search engine result. Just with the kind of the word ad there. So it's basically like it's a title, a short description, and then a link. So basically you can, when someone's searching for your specific product, you can appear when they're searching for that product on Google and direct them directly to your Amazon listing. And I'll go into a little bit more technicality of how that all works, because I know it can seem really confusing at first, but it's honestly very, very simple. And that's kind of the overview. And with this strategy, again, there's other strategies that you could use with Google search ads. You can send people to a landing page. You could pixel and tag the page and then remarket with, email marketing and retarget with Facebook ads and things like that and get more complicated. But with this strategy, number one, it's very simple. Number two, it can be very inexpensive because you target very specific keywords and you set your bid of whatever bid you want to, basically the cost per click. Number three, another benefit of Google search ads is that, like I said, and what I've seen is obviously many Amazon sellers are utilizing Amazon PPC, which is great. And it's not identical, but there is a lot of overlap between kind of the Google advertising platform and the Amazon PPC platform. Again, in the sense of targeting specific keywords, setting a very specific bid. So a lot of overlap. So I find a lot of Amazon sellers can pick it up fairly quickly. I know we did when we first started, and we used to have kind of a little background in paid advertising as well before we got into the Amazon space.
Can you use
and then also what's really important is that when you send traffic directly to Amazon, number one, Amazon has very high domain authority compared to, for example, like your Shopify site. So we've done tests where we've tried to drive traffic to our own website or Shopify site and then to Amazon. And our Amazon ads get a lot more traffic and they pick up traffic much quicker because it has that domain authority, which is beneficial. It's one of the kind of the factors that Google takes into account when kind of serving your ads. And then also when you drive traffic to your Amazon listing, again, this can be very qualified traffic. People are literally searching for your product on Google. They see your ad, it's enticing. They click to your Amazon listing. You get ranking benefit, or you'll get, this benefit of this external traffic going directly to your listing instead of going to a landing page and then, retargeting and then going to your listing. And then that can indirectly kind of help with ranking, as well as obviously generate some direct sales as well.
Now, can you use the same research that you've used for your Amazon PPC? Is it very similar, or do you have to do other types of research?
Very, very similar. And that's another benefit. You've already done a ton of research. Obviously, if you take a step back, you've done research for your listing and that to optimize your listing, then you probably take in a good amount of those keywords and you're also targeting those with your Amazon PPC. And then with that, you can take that same list, or not all those keywords, and I'll talk about this next, but take a good chunk of those keywords and then reutilize those in your Google search ad campaign. Specifically though, it's kind of, well, to me, it's very common sense, and people know it once they hear it, but you may not think about this on your own. Obviously, Amazon and Google are very different platforms. People, for the most part, are going to Amazon to purchase something. Where on Google, people are going in there to buy or to search or to buy something along with a whole host of other things, a lot of things. So with that, if you were to target, so there's two kind of main types of keywords, or you can kind of think about two main types of keywords. There's category specific keywords and there's product specific keywords. So you can target category. So by that, what's an example of a product, Norm? I'll let you, any product. Bracelets?
Bully sticks, yeah.
Bully sticks. Okay, so bully sticks. So that's like what dog accessory,
yeah, it's
dog
a
product.
Dog treat.
Dog treat. So you could target, for example, dog treats, dog accessories, dog products with your Amazon PPC data, because someone who's searching for dog, products, for example, is looking for they're looking for products to buy. Where that same keyword on Google, they may be looking for information about that type of product, but not necessarily to buy. So again, kind of category specific is, keywords that describe your category, where product specific would be like, bully sticks, and ideally more long tail keywords, like very, very descriptive type of words. So a little bit longer, more descriptive. So with Amazon PPC, you have category and you have product. For Google, to kind of keep it simple, I'd recommend only targeting product specific to get as focused as possible. That's really the big key with Google ads. I know there's someone who, they basically half listened to one of my videos. They started setting up Google ads and got really excited and shared like their screenshot with me. And they're like, hey, like I'm getting sales and stuff and I see more organic rate going up, but I'm spending like a ridiculous amount of money on Google ads. And I'm like, well, yeah, your target, like think about it. Someone goes to Google, they type in this very broad keyword. They may, we don't know if they're interested in your product or not. And the other thing I will say as of now, and this may change, one of the benefits, and it's another of many reasons why a lot of sellers are utilizing Amazon PPC, is it's easier to see all of your data kind of, throughout the entire funnel, from the kind of impression to the click to the conversion. Where with Google ads right now, that's kind of one of the biggest downsides, and one of the biggest reasons I find people are hesitant is it's a little bit more difficult to track your results. And because of that, now when that changes, if, for example, we were able to get the same level of insights as you can with Amazon PPC with Google ads, at that time, I would definitely recommend targeting a wider variety. As long as the keyword is relevant, I'd consider targeting it. But for now, since it is a little bit more difficult to track results, that's why I recommend being very, very specific with the keywords being product-based. And then number two, for those familiar with Amazon PPC, it's the same with Google ads. I would recommend targeting all your keywords in exact match. You have the option of exact, phrase, or broad. Exact match is basically, hey, when you're telling Google, hey, when someone types this keyword into the Google search engine, I want my ad to be eligible to appear for that search query. Where with phrase, you're telling Google when you target a keyword in phrase match that if whatever they're typing into Google, if my keyword is in that phrase, then I want to be eligible. And then broad match is basically loosely related keywords. And that would be the worst, especially with Google. You're going to get you have all kinds of people basically clicking on your ad that are not qualified, probably have a very low conversion rate, and that wouldn't be good. So if you're a little bit more advanced, you could use like phrase match along with negative targeting, but just keep it simple. Just use exact match.
Okay. I don't know if my sound's any better now. I just switched over to a different mic. Can you hear me okay? Elchin, does it sound better? Anyway, I forgot my one wireless set. I'm borrowing another, and it sounded like somebody was saying it was fairly weak. So if it's not weak, just let me know in the chat. Hopefully we can get through this with regular audio. Oh, I can't wait till I get back next week. All right. So one of the things I was wondering about in Facebook ads, it's not lucrative to go in with under a $30 product for the most part. What about with Google? Is there some sort of price point that we got to be looking at?
Yeah, well, that's another benefit with Google. You can definitely, I mean, obviously the higher your margin is, the better in general, and higher price point, things like that. But no, you can absolutely be successful with virtually, and again, assuming that you're profitable and you have at least somewhat of a healthy margin, you can absolutely utilize Google advertising. Because you have to think about the way that it's structured. So Facebook ads, Instagram ads, I think even like Twitter ads, although I'm not as familiar with the Twitter ad platform, is more interest-based. So you're targeting people who have a general interest in the topic, where with Google ads, you're targeting people who are in buying mode. So even if, for example, your cost per click is going to be higher on Google, there's a higher likelihood of a better kind of conversion rate. And then number two, anyway, you set your kind of maximum cost per click. So that's one benefit I love about it. Same thing with kind of Amazon PPC. It's a very great place to get started with paid advertising. It's really not that difficult to get a really good handle on. And that's one of the benefits is, again, it's both with the keyword targeting side and then setting a maximum bid per click. So basically, worst case scenario in a lot of cases, like, hey, Sumner, I set up my campaigns. I targeted at a very, let's say, I want to set a 15-cent cost per click. And you can potentially get some decent clicks depending on your targeting, your product, and all of that at 15 cents a click, potentially. Or maybe you set it at 15 cents a click and you don't get much traffic. Well, if you don't get traffic, you don't pay for the traffic. But if you do set a low bid and you are getting traffic, that's great. So you're much more in control again of the targeting and the bid, more so than kind of like with Facebook ads. And again, the difference with Facebook is known as being kind of I believe it's second. It may be different now, but it's about 17% of users on Facebook are using the platform with purchase intent. Where obviously with Google, it's very wide, but when you're targeting those specific keywords, those people you're targeting it's a much higher percentage, significantly more than 17% have purchase intent. So that's kind of another reason why I think Google ads can be a very worthwhile. I believe they're extremely worthwhile. And because Google's such a large platform that there could be like an example that I'm not really thinking of. Well, there could, if you're selling a product that would violate, Google's advertising policy, that they're just not allowed. That would be an example of a product that wouldn't work. But virtually all other products can work well with Google ads because it can be so targeted.
Okay, so is there any other tricks that we can use as a beginner? So a lot of us, and I'd probably say the majority of us on this call, have not used Google. So it is a bit intimidating, just switching over to a new platform. Now, one of the benefits to this that I don't hear a lot of people talking about, by the way, is Keyword Planner. So Keyword Planner is built right in, and you do have this extra little handy tool free that you can use when you're building out your Google ads. But just getting over the hump, just like in Amazon, getting over that hump and getting that product out there. What about being able to get over that hump to start using Google ads?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I will say overall, how we got started was, I remember we heard about it. It was someone in some Facebook group. I have no idea who it was. It was a while ago. Mentioned, oh yeah, when I would launch, I use Google Ads. I'm like, huh. I used to run Google Ads a little bit, so I started like looking into it more. And basically, the one big takeaway that I want to give is that it is much easier than it seems, especially if you have Amazon PPC knowledge or at least a little bit of experience. It's going to be a very easy crossover. And a few other benefits I can kind of walk through briefly, kind of like the process. Obviously, I won't be able to go into granular detail, but definitely some kind of high level tips. So number one is, first thing you want to do is you'll sign up for a Google Ads account. Once you sign up for a Google Ads account, you'll have access to a variety of things, but one of those things that you have access to is what's called the Google Keyword Planner. And it's basically this free tool that you can only utilize though if you have a Google Ads account. And I forget, because I mean, we run Google Ads, so we're obviously paying every month. I believe it used to be free as long as you had a Google Ad account. And now I believe you have to spend like at least $1 or like $5 in advertising to be able to use it. So pretty much free or very inexpensive. So you'll also have access to this, which is basically kind of like a free keyword tool that Google provides that can be useful in a variety of ways, whether that's, you can absolutely use that for product research. Google's a great place for product research, especially finding keywords that people are searching for with high volume on Google that have zero options or very few options on Amazon. That's actually one of Ali and I's kind of secret. It's one of our big strategies that we use for product research, but it's a really great tool and that comes with it. So that's Google Keyword Planner. But again, sign up for an account. It's free to sign up. So just go to I forget what the exact URL is, but just type in Google Ads, sign up, and you'll see it. Click on the link, sign up with your business information, provide your billing and all of that. And once you do that, I believe Google's still offering this, that when you sign up for a new account, check on your email, because there's a good likelihood you'll get a kind of a coupon for, spend $100 and get $50 in free ad credit. It's very common with Google to do that. I know it might be restricted to certain accounts or certain times or things like that, but in general, you should see some kind of promo. So that's another incentive to kind of get started. You kind of get basically some free advertising credit after you spend a certain amount. So that's kind of signing up and obviously pretty straightforward. The next thing you'll do is you'll set up your first campaign, and it'll seem kind of messy. Like when you get in there, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, like, there's all these options. Like, what do I do? Like, cause you can run, kind of like with Facebook and Instagram ads, there's Google and YouTube ads. So Facebook owns Instagram, right? Google owns, I don't know I forget, Google owns YouTube. They're both owned by Alphabet, but basically the same type of, same idea. So when you go in, you want to click on, for like objective, it'll be sales will be your objective. And then and I know this because I just set up a few more campaigns like this week because we have new products out. So we're constantly, setting up new campaigns. And then you'll want to select search. So you'll see search, shopping ads, video ads, which would be YouTube, display ads. That's more for like retargeting. You'll want to select search ads specifically. So, and then for display network, you'll want to select specifically there'll be display network and then Google search partners. You want to unselect both of those. You only want, because I found much better results only advertising on Google. When you select those other options, you basically are allowing Google to show your ad in like other apps or like CNN.com or things like that, like other, sort of search engines that Google's partnered with. So I only want to show up on Google because I understand that platform. I know how the audience is using it. These other platforms are just kind of getting thrown around and it's a little bit more difficult to kind of optimize. Another kind of overall tip. So that's kind of getting set up. You want to select, obviously, you can select multiple different countries. So I recommend for each campaign, make sure that it's targeted toward one specific country. So if you're selling in the US, you have a US campaign. You could also set up a UK campaign or a Canada campaign. So you can select a geographic area. Then kind of moving down, one other tip that I would definitely give that a lot of people this is most advertisers that use Google search ads aren't using, is what's called call out extensions. So basically you're going to have your ad, and that's the last step. First is kind of campaign, then it's ad group, which is keyword targeting. And then the third group is the ad level, which is what people actually see on Google. And with your ad, you can actually include what are called call out extensions, which are basically just like one or two words that are some kind of feature or benefit that's important to your audience. So it could be, like free prime shipping, 30-day, money back promise, premium quality, whatever, like things like that. And you'll add that as you're setting up your campaign. So you'll see kind of as you scroll down, like, hey, do you want to add call out extensions? Definitely select, hit yes. And then it'll tell you, hey, what do you want those to be? And you'll just it'll be like 1 to 3 words usually. I think it's like 25 characters, and you'll fill that out. And that'll kind of make your ad a little bit more robust. It'll stand out a little bit more, and it'll increase the likelihood someone will actually click on your ad. And then from there, other little kind of tip that a lot of people don't know is you can also have a promotion extension. So if you're in kind of like launch mode and you really want to drive traffic and you're willing to give a certain kind of % off, or you have some kind of other promotion, what's great is that you can either create a new campaign or just go to your existing campaigns and just create a promotional extension. And all that is you can say, like for example, like 20% off. So 20% off X product. And then give kind of the details. So promo code is this. And that's another great way for a lot of people who are like, hey, Sumner, I'm a little bit hesitant to use Google search ads because I'm basically sending traffic to Amazon. And then like, how do I really track results? It's kind of difficult. That's one way that you can track results is with that promotion extension, because then you make a unique coupon code that's only used in, maybe this campaign or in this ad group. And then you can track results from, all right, here's at least my total spend on Google. And then here's the total redemptions, and get some kind of understanding, or at least help build out your understanding of your ROI from your Google advertising. So that's kind of on the campaign level. Those are just some high level, just some common things I see maybe people making mistakes or underutilizing. So that's on the campaign side when you first build out your campaign after you sign up for your account. The next, you'll basically literally hit next. Google's going to take you to the ad group section. That's where you're going to enter your keywords. And like I said before, what I'd recommend doing is making sure that you target very product specific keywords. I like to be, and again, it depends on your objectives. If you're like, depending on your launch and your budget and all of that, if you just want to drive a lot more traffic, you could get a little bit more kind of broad with your keywords, a little bit more kind of like category based, not just product based. But just to get started, your product, so you can go to your current Amazon PPC campaigns, go to your kind of master keyword list that you use to optimize your listing, and find those product specific keywords. And you can just literally copy, paste those into your Google ad account. The one thing I will say though, like I mentioned before, you want to make sure you're targeting an exact match, which basically means when someone goes on Google and types in this keyword, you only want to appear when that exact keyword is typed in, not some, like, for example, if someone typed in, bully stick, health hazards. So that would be, if you're targeting phrase match, right? Like bully sticks and phrase match, you could potentially appear for bully stick, health hazards or toxic, bully sticks, things like that. You don't really want to show up for when someone types that into Google, likely. So that's why I recommend exact match.
Hey guys, can I interrupt you guys just for a second?
Yeah, definitely.
So my laptop is at 5% right now. The battery is just dying extremely fast. So I think for the Wheel of Kelsey, we'll have to wait till we'll still do the wheel. Everyone enter. But we'll just do the wheel in the group or in the Facebook page. We'll get the answer out there. But Tony is here. So he's just going to press the end broadcast button if my computer does die out. So there won't be any fancy outros or anything. And Sumner and Norm, if you can just read out the questions, I won't be able to actually press it. But yeah, just in case I die out, which I think I will, just let Tony know when to press that end broadcast button, and then we'll end the show.
No more vacations for you, Kels. Okay, so we'll do that. So still, anybody who's interested in that lifetime membership at Udemy for the course, hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, tag 2 people, and you will get entered into it. We're just going to do it a little differently today, just to change it up. Don't want life to be boring, so we'll do it within the group. So we'll post the winners in there. But anyways, yep. Sometimes life just throws you a curveball. All right, Sumner, let's get back to it. Kelsey will not interrupt us again.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. So yeah, on the keyword side, this is another place that I find a lot of sellers getting tripped up. So within Amazon PPC, right, if you're going to set up a campaign and you're entering your keywords, Amazon will simply ask you, what match type do you want? Do you want exact, phrase, or broad? And you select just from a drop down what you like. Google is a little bit more sneaky. Google, just like Amazon, they want to spend your money. They don't really care if you get results. So if you just take your keywords, which would just be, like bully stick, just that word or that keyword, and put it in, you've now targeted that, and that's broad match. So if you want to target an exact match with Google, what you need to have are brackets right with no space. So just bracket right at the before the first letter, at the end of the last letter of your keyword. And that's going to indicate to Google, okay, this is exact match. We only want to appear. Otherwise, if you just copy and paste your keywords and that's it, that's broad match. And you're going to show up you're going to see as you start running your campaigns, you're like, oh, wow. I'm off the bat. I'm getting a ton of clicks and impressions and all this kind of stuff. Then you look at your search terms and they're going to be very kind of like very weird and very unrelated. Maybe like, blog content or, bully stick blog, bully stick, health hazards or reviews or all these other things. And you're like, yeah. So make sure that and something you can do is obviously it's pretty simple in Excel to do this, just to add those brackets at the beginning and end. Also, and this is just a good general tip that I use all the time. If you ever like, oh man, this is really difficult, I wish there was a tool, just Google free blank tool into Google. And there's so many times there's like this free tool that can help you. And this is one of those situations. Type in free Google keyword match type tool. And there's like a bunch of options. Likely you'll click on the first one and you can basically just take all your keywords that you want to target, put those into the tool, select exact match and hit enter, and it'll add brackets. If you're just not as, savvy with Google Sheets or with Excel, that's another simple way of doing it. But just you want to make sure you have brackets at the beginning and end of each word. So that was just kind of the big tip there.
So if I put in bracket, good podcast producer, bracket, would I come up with some good podcast producers?
You could potentially, yeah. I mean, you could. Well, this is something else I'll mention.
Like to replace Kelsey. I'm just saying.
You might, and you can geographically target, so you can exclude Vancouver.
So you wouldn't even know about it because his computer's dead.
You could target specific IP addresses as well. So yeah, there you go.
Now, a serious question though, on those searches. Yeah. I know in Facebook, and there's always some tricks to target more Amazon-specific sellers. So people who are looking and who have bought on Amazon, can you put and Amazon or plus Amazon? Is there? Yes?
Absolutely. Yep. That was actually going to be my second. So the first one was use exact match. Second, definitely. That's a great tip as well. Is what you can do and what I'd recommend doing is take your kind of keyword list. Again, if you're running PPC and everything, that's a great place to start. You've already done the work, so no need to. And again, you can just use your kind of common sense and think, okay, is there any other keyword that I'm missing? And use Google Keyword Planner and if you want to. But basically, you have your list. Great. Target those in exact match. Then take that same list and then add the words on Amazon. So you'll take each keyword and then plus on Amazon and then generate this long list of those keywords plus on Amazon. You can target those as well. You can either put these all, to keep it simple, you can put them all in one ad group, or you could have one ad group where it's, kind of Amazon related keywords in one, and then your kind of main list in the other ad group and kind of compare, that, or like I said, just keep it simple. Just put them all in one ad group. You can also do, so it'd be on Amazon. It could be, or it'd be Amazon at the beginning of the word. So again, it's very important. You're like, oh, there's already Amazon in the word, so I'm good. It's like, well, it's a completely different keyword. For example, bully sticks on Amazon. Versus Amazon bully sticks. Those are two different keywords. So you can do that first, then start the process just one more time and put Amazon in Amazon plus, and then your keyword, run through the list. Now you have a new list of, Amazon as the prefix, and then put those in. So then now, exactly. So you have kind of that base list of these are all highly relevant keywords, plus highly relevant keywords. They're even more relevant because they're on Amazon or Amazon related, which is an amazing, because like I said, worst case scenario is you may be thinking, well, Sumner, by the end of this, like some of these keywords are super long. And obviously I know, the longer a keyword is, less people are usually searching for that on Google. So am I even going to get any clicks on this? Am I going to get any sales? And the answer is, so number one, it definitely depends on your product type. Generally, if you see higher volume on Amazon, you'll see higher volume on Google, just in general. But like I said before, this is another reason to kind of, consider using Google Ads. I definitely recommend it. Is that on the negative side, right? You've set kind of your keywords and your max kind of cost per click. Worst case scenario is you get no traffic, so you pay nothing. You don't waste your money. Best case scenario is you get very inexpensive cost per click for extremely relevant keywords directly to your Amazon listing. That's going to help give you this indirect kind of organic boost in rankings and directly generate sales. So it's again, kind of similar with PPC. People ask me that all the time. They're like, but Sumner, what if it doesn't get any impressions? I'm like, oh, then you don't pay any money. So target it. Like I'm in the mindset of, and that's a whole other, I know people might disagree with me, but in general, if it's relevant, especially with PPC, if it's relevant, target it. And similar with Google, like in Google will likely give you a message that says low traffic indicated, like go back and fix your ads. And again, they're trying to incentivize you or trying to get you to target and broad match. I ignore them. I don't care what Google says. I have many campaigns that I've set up where Google said no traffic expected. Go back and fix your campaign. I'm like, nope. I hit publish and I generate a decent amount of traffic at a very, very low cost per click. So that's something else to keep in mind that I got a lot of questions about. I always ignore Amazon, Google, all of that, unless it's like a big red flag thing, like, hey, there's trademark in your text. And there's another thing as well, just another quick tip is when you are creating, you have to keep in mind when creating your ad. So basically, yeah, so that's your keywords. Then you can enter in your maximum cost per click. So I recommend, again, it's definitely going to depend on your product. So what you can do is kind of work backwards. Kind of estimate your conversion rate. What do you think your conversion rate would be sending Google ad traffic to your listing? You can kind of use your unit session percentage rate on Amazon as a good base, and then multiply that by, what was it? Sorry, it's been a long day. So I'm kind of like, I got my formulas all mixed up. But basically you can work backward and think, okay, how many clicks does it take me to get a sale? How much profit do I make per sale? And then you can figure out, okay, that's going to be my cost per click. So I guess it's profit margin per product multiplied by conversion rate per product. And then that'll give you a good estimate of a cost per click, either at that or below. It could be a good general cost per click to get started. And usually for us, it's somewhere between 20 cents to 50 cents, depending on the product price point, all of that. Obviously, and we operate at kind of the lower price point, like $20 to $30 range. So for people with, much higher kind of, much higher price points, larger profit margins, you could definitely spend more per click as well. So there's just kind of a good general estimate to get started. But of course, it's going to depend on your product. So that's the ad group section. I know I'm talking a lot, Norm. So if you need to interrupt me, Norm, too, let me know. I know
you know it makes it so easy for me.
That's good. No, I know you had a cold, so I was just trying to,
No, you do it.
And so from the ad group, you'll hit next after you have kind of all that, and you'll get to the final section, and I promise it's almost over. And once you do it the first few times, it'll get so easy, and you can use this for like any business. It's amazing. But you'll get to the ad section. This is where you're going to create the text that people see when they search for your keywords on Google. They're going to see it, and that's what's going to basically convince them to click or not. And obviously, if you haven't already, this is because it's going to play into everything that you do. Get a basic understanding of copywriting. It's so important. Like for your Amazon listing, for your, some of your sponsored brand ads with Amazon PPC, for your blog, obviously blog, everything like social media, very important skill to learn. But to keep it simple, what I'd highly recommend doing is creating 2 different ads. So basically you'll go through and create one ad and then hit publish, and you can hit done, and then create another ad and then hit done. So now you have 2 versions. For version A, I recommend making it feature-based. And for version B, I recommend making it benefits-based. So you're basically kind of testing to see which ultimately is going to perform better. You can kind of look at click-through rate. And I'll talk about one other way that you can track in a second of how you kind of can actually test that. But how the ad structure is you'll have your URL that you'll enter. That URL, again, you can do a lot of things with it. You could send it to a landing page. You could also use it with your website, which is a whole other story. You have more, if you install Google Tag on your website, you can track a lot more data. But just keeping it with the Amazon example, it would just be your link directly to your Amazon product detail page. But what I'd recommend doing, again, and this is especially in light of more recent news, if you're not brand registered, don't worry about this. If you are brand registered and you have access to Amazon attribution, what I'd recommend doing is going to Amazon attribution, taking your your Amazon product page link, and basically you're basically going to take your link and you're going to turn it into a tracking link. So you kind of put it into Amazon attribution. Amazon asks you, okay, what's the traffic from? You select Google, Google search, and then you can just name it to keep track. So it could be like Google search ad A, and then you create another one, Google search ad B. And now you have these tracking URLs, and that's what I'd recommend using. And you can, and Amazon has said this themselves, but you can take that exact tracking URL and then plug it in as your kind of final destination URL as the ad. So that's what you'll put in first, is that URL. Basically, when someone clicks on your ad, where do you want to send them? You'll send them to your Amazon listing. And also having that additional benefit is you'll be able to kind of track those clicks and hopefully ultimately those sales with Amazon attribution. Although in the past, I know it's been a little bit glitchy. So just kind of keep that in mind. But with these new endeavors, especially with Amazon kind of announcing, hey, we're going to be rewarding people anytime that we see that a sale has been made using this and basically a sale's been made from external traffic. We know that it's been made because you're using our attribution platform and they reward that. I believe that they're definitely going to kind of improve their attribution data. So, and I'm hopeful of that. But even if they don't as much, it's definitely beneficial to do, just to have it. It's not going to hurt your ads at all.
So for Amazon attribution, you have to have brand registry. And
Yes.
have they opened that completely up, or is it still technically beta?
I believe it's still beta. I was one of the people who had kind of like beta access a while ago, and I'm not 100% sure. And to be honest, for a while, and this is part of the reason this week, I actually was kind of updating a lot of our Google and Pinterest ads. And by the way, when we talk about Pinterest ads, it'll go a lot faster because there's a lot of overlap. So, I promise. So yeah, so with the Google ad side, I wasn't using it as much because basically Amazon's going to, when you use an attribution link with anything, this could be blog content, this could be an influencer kind of shout out, and they put the link in their Instagram bio or TikTok or whatever. We saw that, like, especially with the advertising side, Google ads, we saw that our clicks and impressions and all that weren't really matching up. Our sales seemed kind of off. And this is a while ago. So we just like, okay, we're not going to use this anymore. This is just a waste of our time to keep creating all these URLs. But in recent news with kind of Amazon announcing this, we've now used attribution again. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I would check. It's under the, where is it? I don't think it's under the advertising tab. It may be under the brands tab.
It's under brands.
It is under brands. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You go to brands and then you'll see Amazon attribution. You'll click on that. It may ask you like to set up just with your business info or whatever, and just kind of click through, and then you'll get to this section. It looks kind of messy, but it's pretty simple. You just, put in your URL, select what type of traffic it's coming from, and then it'll create a new URL, and that's what you'll use, just so everything's tracked. And then as you get data in, you should see the data kind of populate in your Amazon attribution dashboard, and hopefully ultimately get paid a little bit too by Amazon for those sales.
Yeah, that would be nice. Okay, so we're coming up to the top of the hour. Do you want to continue on Google? We can go into Pinterest. The reason I have to stop is I have a beard appointment to trim this monster. So I got to get going at it just after what? Yes, Kelsey.
We do have a couple questions to come up.
Okay, why don't we get into the questions? Sumner, for the Pinterest side,
Yeah.
if we were to send you a link for a month out or something like that, would you be able to come back and talk about Pinterest? Because I'm very interested in Pinterest, but there's a lot of information that you were able to provide about Google today, which, we can spread it out, but I don't want to do a Reader's Digest version.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So
I'm
yeah,
putting you in the corner here.
I'd be more than happy to. And I can, if time permits, if it makes sense, I can also give kind of the really kind of down and dirty, like overview of kind of Pinterest as well. But I know there's a couple questions, and I'm happy to kind of.
And I have to get my beard cut.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, I'm going to trim it right back, right like this. So anyway, okay, let's get on with the questions.
Okay, from Harry Caston. Hi, I sell on Amazon and Shopify. I want to start promoting a new product in Pinterest. What would you do sooner? Should I use Pinterest for Amazon or Shopify or both? Organic traffic as well as ads?
Yep. Great question. It's something that's a fantastic question, because of course when sending traffic to Amazon, a little bit more difficult to see kind of what's working, what specific, interests or keywords that you're targeting are actually converting to sales. However, you get that ranking benefit, which has indirect results on Amazon. Where when you set traffic to Shopify, what you can do, same thing with Google ads, is that you can have, just like Google ads has a tag. So, Facebook has a pixel, Google ads, they have their tag. And then Pinterest also has a tag. If you have Shopify, super easy. Get the Pinterest app. They'll create a Pinterest business account, get the Pinterest app on Shopify. They'll sync everything together. And then you'll be able to track exactly where sales are coming from Pinterest ads that are directing to your Shopify site. So two things. So it kind of depends on it depends on your business objectives. But like I said, you have to kind of decide what is more valuable to you, kind of that indirect benefit from sending traffic direct to Amazon and kind of boosting your Amazon sales, or obviously with Shopify, being able to track a little bit more data, maybe being able to capture some more of that customer data. And something else to consider as well, if you're a little bit more savvy, consider sending traffic to your Shopify site from Google, from Pinterest, and send your retargeting traffic. So retarget, add to carts or certain product viewing, certain product detail pages, and then send retargeting traffic with Google Display, Facebook ads, or whatever directly to your Amazon listing. Because if someone didn't complete a purchase on your website, one of those reasons could be lack of trust, for example, where Amazon kind of has that trust built in. And obviously, it's still beneficial to send traffic directly to Amazon. But if you really don't want to affect your conversion rate, if someone's already gone through your website and you're only kind of retargeting that traffic that has shown interest, and you send that traffic to Amazon, that's already kind of vetted and kind of filtered through. So your conversion rate from that traffic is going to be much higher. The quality is going to be much higher. So that can also kind of be beneficial. So I know, like I said, I know I can get like a little bit kind of complicated or seem a little bit overwhelming, but those are just two ways that you can do it. I hope that's helpful. Maybe I made things more complicated, but it depends on your business objectives.
Okay, what is the difference between Google Shopping Ads and Google AdWords?
Yeah, so it's Google Shopping Ads and then Google Search Ads. Great question. If you have a Shopify site, WooCommerce, any other kind of e-commerce website, definitely be using Google Shopping Ads. So Google Search Ads are where, like I said before, someone types in a search query into Google, and then your ad, it's a text ad that appears with a URL, and someone can click on that and can go to your Shopify site, go to Amazon. With Google Shopping, you can either kind of a couple main ways. One, you could go to Google, type in a product, and you could do this just to see as an example. Type in a product-based keyword like bully sticks, and you may see these kind of like images that appear. These kind of more image-based ads with the word kind of ad associated with them. Those are Google Shopping Ads. Now you cannot use Google Shopping Ads with Amazon because you need a product feed. So I don't know why Google set it up this way. To me, it's kind of confusing, but basically you have to create a Google merchant account. And then with that Google merchant account, you'll upload a product feed into the Google merchant account. Then from there, you'll sync your Google Ads account, and then you'll be able to run shopping ads on your Google Ads account that is synced with your shopping data. But again, you can't do that with Amazon. You can't have a product feed with Amazon data. If that changes, that'd be amazing. And I would definitely run shopping ads. They tend to have a much higher conversion rate because obviously people are 100%, they're in buying mode. They tend to have a very high conversion rate, really good results. I was running for a while with a client, and our Google Shopping Ads to the website was crushing compared to search ads, just for the type of ad it is, especially with their budget and everything. So yeah, so if you have a Shopify site or any kind of e-commerce site, definitely set up a Google merchant account. Once you do that, fill out your product information. Make sure that you have like shipping policy, privacy policy. We actually had an issue where we recently had our merchant account shut down because it's a glitch with Google, but they're super particular about obviously all of the terms of service. So make sure you read terms of service first, regardless Google search ads or shopping ads. Either way, read it first. Set up a merchant account, create a product feed, and then you can sync your Google Ads account with your merchant account and then run Google Shopping Ads to your Shopify site. Tends to be very profitable. But because some people are like, hey, if I just want to drive traffic to Amazon, what should I do? Well, you only have search ads available, so use search ads. And then if you ask, hey, should I do shopping ads or search ads for Shopify or my website? Do both.
Okay, great. Let me see. From Simon, how do you organize all your Google pages, ads, merchant, shopping, analytics, etc.? And same for Facebook, Pinterest, etc. Do you have a Chrome browser with all the URLs bookmarked?
I do not. I could probably be more efficient in that regard, but in terms of kind of organizing, obviously we use the same, we'll make sure that we use kind of the same business information across kind of all platforms. Like we don't mix it up with, I don't know. And I've seen this with certain clients or with even what we did when we were starting out of having like different email logins for like the Google Analytics had this email and then the shopping had this email. And so we make sure we have all the same business information for all of those relevant kind of the Merchant Center, the Google Ads account, the Google Analytics account, the Google Search Console, kind of all those different products and so on. But no, I could be more efficient. I don't. I just I literally go to Google, I type in Google Ads, and then I go to the sign in, and I know it's very inefficient, but it's just what I do. So yeah, you could probably be more efficient.
Okay, Norm, how are you good for time? Should we cut it off there?
We could probably do one more, but might want to check out an extension called Clipix, and it's a really great extension for organizing. Yeah, I asked Kelsey. I mean, I'm crazy when it comes to formatting and naming protocols and saving. I mean, it's every little thing I'll save. But yeah, Clipix is pretty good for organization.
Perfect. I've definitely needed that.
Okay, this is just from Ali. Very important question to Norm and Kelsey. When will you come visit at one of our home around the world?
I love.
So
Does
I think-
Kelsey have to come?
I'll hide in the suitcase.
All right, good.
Okay, Nathan, what are you seeing for ACOS, Google versus Pinterest versus Amazon ads? And this will be our last question.
Okay. Yeah. Good last question. Definitely understand. So, yeah. So obviously ACOS is more of a metric specifically for Amazon PPC. I will say this, the majority of our ad spend is still Amazon. That may change in the future. Especially when you compare just Google, Pinterest, Amazon. It's about, just to give you an example, right now, it's about 90% Amazon PPC, 5% Google ads, 5% Pinterest ads, about just roughly. So again, the vast majority is still Amazon PPC. Again, so with our Amazon PPC, obviously we have different objectives. I know for some sellers, it's, just to profit. For others, it's to maintain or increase rank. It's, for launching new products, and you have your specific objectives. With Google and Pinterest ads, because the ROI is a little bit more difficult, like I don't have any hard numbers on, hey, I spent this much and I know, and I can see exactly in this dashboard that I received, this much back from total profit or total sales or anything like that. However, what you can do is, again, Amazon attribution is a great way to kind of track your overall results if sending traffic to Amazon. Using a promo code, that's another great way to track. And then number 3, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, you can also A/B test. Either 1 week or 1 month, you're running Google and Pinterest, and then you turn off. Then you turn on, you turn off. Look at your BSR, look at your organic keyword ranking for some of your top keywords, and see if there's an impact. That's what we do, and we have clearly seen when we have ads running, our total profit is higher for those months than it's not. So for me, that's generally what I'm looking at. You can definitely get a little bit more or much more kind of analytical with that, but I see that's a big reason why people are kind of hesitant to run. But again, if you have your own, it's another benefit of creating your own website, like a Shopify site. Create it, and that's a great way. You basically start running Google ad campaigns and Pinterest ad campaigns like Amazon PPC. You'll be able to see, okay, I spent this much per keyword or per interest, and here's the total sales that I generated for those keywords. And you can kind of increase bids, decrease bids, turn things off that aren't working, and better optimize. So I hope that kind of answers it. It depends on your objective, but right now there's kind of 2 different objectives there. So 2 different ways of kind of measuring results.
All right, fantastic.
Okay.
I think that's
All
it.
right. Yeah,
Kelsey,
we
we can't do the wheel, so we're going to be doing that. What's that?
We can do the wheel.
Oh, we can.
Yep. I found a charger.
You go, girl.
All right. So everyone, we'll do this quickly, but here we go. The wheel of Kelsey.
It's time for the Wheel of Kelsey.
Right. This is for the Udemy lifelong course with Sumner. Sumner.
And this is where Kelsey's computer goes out right now.
Sumner was Andrew was asking if they already have the Udemy course, if they can do a consultation instead, if they are.
Sure. Yep. Totally fine with me.
Okay.
We'll do a 1-hour consultation if the person already has. So.
Okay, perfect. All right, so I'll shuffle this up. And here we go. Thank you for entering. Please contact me at k@lunchwithnorm.com if you are the winner. Okay, Rad.
There he goes.
All right.
Mr. Rad.
Okay, so I have all of Rad's information already, so I'll get that to you sooner for the course. And I think that's it. Thank you so much, everyone who participated in today's Wheel of Kelsey. Also, everyone in the audience. And of course, Sumner, thank you so much. It was a pleasure. I'm glad I got to stick around for this.
What's great is Rad. I know his products. If he's not using Google Ads, this is going to be a perfect course for him. So be interesting to see what happens.
Perfect.
So Rad, report back to us. Let us know. Okay, hey Sumner, thanks a lot for coming on. I know it's just a bit of a back and forth, adjusting my mic, but I promise you, next time you're on, I'll be in my home territory.
Oh, you're fine. You're totally fine. Again, thanks so much for having me on. Hopefully this was valuable to your audience, and I look forward to definitely coming on in the future and maybe trying to be a little bit more concise. But
no, you were absolutely perfect. There was a lot of stuff to talk about Google. Now we're going to talk about Pinterest.
It's like in my mind before the call, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll get it done by this time. I'll plan everything out, and I'm like, nope. I always just, but I don't want to hold anything back. I want to kind of make sure you're set up for the best chance of success possible. So.
And it was awesome. So thank you. Say hi to your wife for me, and I'll talk to you soon.
Wonderful.
Hey, absolutely. Everybody. We are going to be on Monday. I'm still going to be in Florida. We're going to have Brian Johnson on. Is that correct, Kels?
Yes, that is correct. Brian Johnson is here. I don't know if we haven't locked down the exact topic yet, but we're working on it.
Okay, fantastic.
Oh, yes.
All right.
Before we do that, how do we contact you, Sumner, if someone is interested?
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, definitely. So I know it's mainly Facebook and YouTube is the audience. So you can find me, my wife and I, on YouTube. Just type in Sumner Hobart. You'll find me there. And then we also have a Facebook group as well. So it's called the Amazing Escape Plan Facebook group. You'll find me there as well. Great place. If you have any questions, just post those. We try to get back within 48 hours. Anything we can do to help, we want to be there. So that's how you can kind of reach out.
Okay, awesome.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Sumner.
See you later. And okay, so I just wanted to let everybody know I'm actually sitting in the .club podcast room right now, which is kind of cool. And they are also the sponsor of this episode. So I mentioned this the last episode. I love .clubs. They are made for communities. I was talking about it in a clubhouse room the other day. It's the fastest top-level domain selling today. But where I love using .clubs is when I'm building out either in Clubhouse or when I'm building a brand. So you can use something like bullystick.club, and you can have that as your one domain, and it gets searched very quickly. So I have Soap Club. Within a week of buying Soap Club, I became number one for the word Soap Club, where I could build my community and drive traffic over to it. So check it out. I'm going to have Michelle on from Clubhouse sometime in the future, talking about how you can utilize that to help build your brand and help drive traffic over to Amazon. But if you're looking for a new domain, I own thousands of .clubs. So this is pre-sponsorship. I've done this for years. Okay, Kels, anything else to say?
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, everyone. Like I said,
he is in the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, if you can see around, I'm in the middle of Tofino, British Columbia. And smash the like button if you haven't already. Also join our Facebook group, Lunch with Norm, Amazon FBA, and Ecommerce Collective. And if you're interested in our paid membership program, we've got hot seats, we've got personal small size groups for any Amazon entrepreneur that's looking for a little extra help. As also, we give out free services. We have some freebies, some discounted prices on the chat agency, Honu Worldwide, PRH, and a couple others. So it's a really great place. Also, there's a great community that we've kind of built inside that paid membership with their own private group chats. So yeah, I look forward to everyone. For Monday's episode, I will be back in Toronto, so no more crazy Wi-Fi like this. I think my brothers took a photo of what this looks like right now, so I'll post that in the Facebook group too. So that is Lunch with Norm, Amazon FBA, and Ecommerce Collective. But thank you so much, everyone. And Marcia, what's up with the sweatshirt? We don't have those in here. Yeah, this is the Canadian tuxedo. Right here. This is my brother's university sweater. So yeah, it's a little chilly over here, but
sharing clothes.
Yeah,
that's so cute. All right, everybody. So tune in every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, noon Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for being part of the community. Thank you for tuning in for this hour and sharing your time with us, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Lunch with Noam.